And so yesterday during our panel, Matt put his drink on there, thinking that this was, this is a designated drink area.
Why wouldn't you?
And Billy was quite chagrined in that inimitable style of his.
So I know that you might have been thinking this is a Rob Benedict panel. That's because we thought Rich was going to have to be on a plane, but Rich got his flight moved, as it were.
I said, I don't want there to be a Kings of Con panel without me.
Yeah.
So I'm crashing your panel, Robbie.
This is amazing.
What?
So it was going to be a King of Con panel, now it's a Kings of Con panel.
Exactly.
As God meant it to be.
We're, speaking of Kings of Con, you can't write that kind of stuff, that's right up there.
Boom.
Right up there in the old noodle.
So anyway, we made this show, it's called Kings of Con.
2 important Tuesdays are coming up.
Yeah.
2 very important Tuesdays. Election Day, November 8th. 7 days later, the premiere of Kings of Con on November 15th.
And they're going to air the first 2 episodes back to back for that first week. And then what we're also going to do is they're releasing the show on Comic-Con HQ. They're releasing the show like normal network would release a show. So every Tuesday it's a new episode. Then of course it will live on the site, forever. But they're releasing it, weekly. And we're going to have a live talk show at 7 p.m. Pacific time every Tuesday.
Yeah, we're doing an after show for our own show. So it's 6:45 Pacific time.
Well, for the first Tuesday, we're actually rolling it within the 7 o'clock show, right?
Even better.
And Richard can't be there because he's going to be directing Supernatural for like a couple episodes, and then he'll be back.
Right.
Anyway, we've got it. It's going to be great. The after show is going to be super fun.
And it's live, so we'll live tweet, and then you'll be able to tweet in questions to Robbie. You'll be able to ask things and communicate about the show.
Yeah.
It'll be great. It's called Kings of Conversation.
Yeah.
Because we're clever like that.
Yeah. Hi.
I feel like either this is where the questions are, or they're staging a coup, and I don't know.
I don't know either.
Either way, I like our chances.
Misha, photo op.
Yeah, this is the line.
You're like, sure. You're
Good. I'm really glad
it's not.
You're not storming the stage.
I would bend down, but I've got this.
You're great.
Bobo.
I love it, just like, during the panel, hey, do you have a question? Oh no, I'm here from Misha.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you something. We had a nickel for every time we heard that.
Totally.
Rob, Rich, what? Sit down, you're blocking my view of Misha.
Yeah. Well, one of Borja's cousins was here, and she's been really cool hanging out with us all day, very cool, we're just 2 people hanging out.
Yeah.
Then she met Jensen, Jared, and Misha, and she lost it. I didn't even know she was a fan of the show. She was like, oh my God! She's like, literally screaming, she's like, best birthday ever! And I was like, what am I, chopped liver? I'm not on that show. All day long, she'd be like, no, nothing. She was like, hey, to you, she was like, I don't know if you work here, but thank you so much for introducing me.
She tipped me $5. It was, and I kept it. I figured, well, I'm walking out of here with something, Should we take a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Should we do it? We'll start with the crown. I feel like the person with the crown makes sense.
I'm here for you guys.
Thank you.
And we for you.
I bought my Sunday ticket for the Rob Benedict panel.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Also, thank you so much for this weekend. It's been such a great con, and I love you guys. You guys are rock stars. This has been so awesome for me and so many people.
Thank you so much. Thanks for saying that.
My question was I wanted to know, Rob, about your writing process, because you write lyrics. You've written Kings of Con. I know people have asked you a couple times about your writing process with Rich, but like the sidekick and your own projects, what is your writing process like? I hope it's not like Chuck's, but
Yeah, no, there's not as much alcohol involved. Believe it or
Mine
not.
kind of is.
I like to write, like him and we're a good example of this, as is Louden, Swain. I like to write by myself and then give it to someone to then get their input on it. Him and I write best when we basically divide and conquer, and then we divide, write, then we come back and share what we've written, and then we make notes on that. So yeah, I like to be by myself when I'm actually doing the writing, and yeah, just you got to be in the right mood. That's what's hot.
Good one, right mood. The old right mood bit. Writing in the right mood. Did you write that?
See, and this is what our writing process is like.
That's a home run.
And this is why I like to be by myself. Right?
Nailed it.
Anyway, so that's be by myself, and you just have to kind of wait for the inspiration to come. I'm a pretty emotional person, which probably is very obvious to all of you. Hi. And so that therefore, ideas come quick to me. Feelings come quick. And same with humor. I laugh a lot, and so I don't know. I sit by myself and I throw a lot of things out there, and about 80% of it is good.
Oh, there she goes.
There you go.
Bye, everybody.
Mention of the character that you've been playing. It's not an about face. It really is. It's more. It's kind of a gift as a guest star actor to be able to add this other dimension to this character that you've been playing, and it was fun. It was super fun to explore that.
Yeah, and I would say we were also benefited from both of us having tremendous writers. The Changing Channels episode was written by Jeremy Carver, who's obviously a fantastic writer, running his own show now, Frequency. And then, Robbie had the benefit of the greatest ally in show business, Robbie Thompson, who just crafted a fantastic return for Rob's character. And so you were, aside from an actor being able to, kind of do his thing and work out his chops here, we had really solid material to work with that really put us down a really interesting and well thought out road.
One of the things I just want to say is that to me, you're more than just guest stars. You're more as we, the fans, look forward to seeing episodes with you guys in it. I know you may be gone, but you know what? We would love to see you come back. I love Chuck, I love Trickster, I love Gabriel. I love everyone that's been on the show even once or maybe even twice, because you know what? Those are the characters that people will always talk about. Not only just Dean and Sam and Cass and Cassiel, but it's you guys that make the cons great, that do all weekend. You guys really dedicate to the fans. And I respect you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Very high compliment.
Wow. See, I told you, Jersey.
Yeah.
Town. They get us.
Jersey, they get me.
They get us.
It gets me.
Love you guys.
Hello, sirs.
Hello, ma'am.
First, I want to say, Rob, I think you are the best looking guy in the cast. I think you're very
Robbie. Well played, sir.
Thank you so much.
My question for both of you is, was there anything specific that inspired you, like a specific situation that inspired you to make Kings of Con?
It wasn't one thing. It was a series of things.
Years of doing the same thing.
Robbie and I kept doing. Robbie, obviously, we were talking about it earlier, has written a lot in his life previous to the two of us teaming up. I've done the same. And what we realized, two things that were key to this process. One was, in the years we were doing these cons, and the cities we would travel to, and the situations we'd find ourselves in, we would find ourselves cracking up going, this is ridiculous. Make a note. And so Rob would keep a text chain of crazy crap that was happening, which we still keep going, by the way. We have an ongoing text chain of weird crap that happens. That's our vault. And that's one thing. And number two, Rob and I realized early on, because of our experience, because we're not new to the business, we've been around for a long time, we realized that our rapport, our comedic rapport that we have on stage and off stage is a rare find. It's not easy to find. You might enjoy somebody's humor, you might love their work. That doesn't mean you guys sync up together well as creative partners. And we realized early on in the improv on this stage, when we'd start the show every morning, that there was a freedom and a trust that we had with each other's sense of humor that, go. It's fine. We get it. That you can't emulate, you can't fake, and we realized we had this opportunity. We had a great idea, shared experience, and sensibilities that were different enough to be unique, but similar enough to work really well together. And we decided we'd be absolute idiots if we didn't capitalize on it and go out and tell a story about it.
Yeah, the weird things that he's talking about that are happening are like the behind the scenes things, like before we come out here and try to act like two responsible people who can hold a microphone, making total asses of ourselves back there. And we're like, this is good, this is good, this is like a television show. It was like therapy. We had to get it out. We had to talk about it. We looked at the show, which we're playing characterized versions of ourselves. You know, it's not a reality show, it's scripted, it's funny. But you're watching the cartoon versions of ourselves.
Right.
Like, these two men have a problem.
Oh my God.
They're not okay.
They're not okay, but that's okay.
Exactly. That's what makes it good. We was like, this is a comedy. So that's what inspired us to do it.
Thank you. Hi.
My name's Zoe, and my question is, what's the weirdest fan interaction you've had during karaoke?
When drinking was involved in karaoke, things definitely got out of control sometimes. But my favorite memory of karaoke craziness isn't like a weird interaction so much as something awesome that then we decided that would not the safe thing to do is we used to crowd surf.
I knew you were going to say that. That was the thing. We used to crowd surf back in the day.
And I had great surf. I had one surf that was just the best. I've got a picture of it up in my office because someone took a picture. It's like me just like with hands holding me up. This is early.
Yeah, early. I never did the crowd surfing thing, but Robbie would do it. And my favorite, and Cohen, there was one time I remember thinking, your karaoke party started out really small. It would be like 9 people dotting their seats, and we'd sort of call them up, and they'd do a long, slow, quiet walk up here and sing the Rose, and then go back to their seat. It was a hell on earth, is what it was. But then slowly the crowds got a little bit bigger as we sort of started breaking rules and redefining what the experience was. But they still weren't what you just witnessed. If you came Friday night, that was awesome. I mean, and we've built up to that, and that's pretty much what it is town to town, attendance-wise. There was a period of time when it was well attended, but not nearly that huge, and that's really what we're talking about, where we had a fun but smaller crowd. And so we'd run around in the audience more, and Rob would crowd surf. I remember one time, I don't know why this was happening, but Matt was behind everybody, just throwing chairs, just hurling chairs. And that wasn't safe.
I remember that. Like,
yeah, I know.
They're like bouncing.
Chairs.
I remember thinking like, wow, I hope nobody gets hurt here.
And then I remember the whole crowd surfing concept got turned on its ear when Sebastian Roche got involved and decided to crowd surf
face down.
Face down. Which means every fifth hand was cupping his sack. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, this is great, man. Having the best time.
it was the most offensive thing I've ever seen play out in real time.
That's when we decided we had to
And I said, this is crowd surfing is probably a bad idea. Why, man? It was great. They passed me around, I'm back up here. Yeah, I know you enjoyed it, Sebastian. Matt Cohen used to say it was like a Sebastian umbrella. So that's when the worm turned. Like, note to self, guys, let's not do the crowd surfing.
Yeah.
So specifically what I was thinking, Rod brought up the whole crowd surfing. To me, it was specifically Sebastian's crowd surfing. May have been the oddest one.
The awkwardness.
You, man.
Hi, Rich.
Hi.
You two, Rob, I guess.
Thanks.
I'm just kidding. So we obviously have a lot of creative people in the fandom, and that can carry over to photo ops a lot. So I was wondering, what's your most memorable photo op experience?
One time in Italy, a woman said she didn't speak great English, but she drew a picture. She was like, I want you and Richard here holding on to each other.
Imbrasso.
Your faces are really close.
Okay.
And then I'm not in the picture.
Yeah, she like, where are you gonna be? She's like, oh no, I'm out. I'm like, no, sister, we're not. Daddy don't need that one.
Honey, where was this picture taken?
It's a photo, a fan photo op. Where's the fan?
And we'll do pretty much anything.
There had been very few times when we've said,
no.
I remember one of my favorite times, the only time I've ever said, no to a position. A young lady brought me a photo and she said, would you mind doing this position? And I looked at her like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna not do that position just because someday my kids will see that, you know, it's gonna float on the web. Like, I already have too many questions to answer for them as it is. This may be a bridge too far. I'm gonna pass on this. Now, that's not the funny story. The funny story is the picture she was showing me to ask me to do a pose was a picture of her and Misha doing that pose. I was like, yeah, I've been out me shit. I can't. That's, you know.
Not me.
That was the only time I think I've ever. Oh, you and me making out with no fan and that. The only 2 times I think we put our foot down.
Because we would have made out if the fan would have been in the picture.
Oh hell yeah! We were making out on our way to the photo op. I'm always amazed by the creativity of the photo op experience. Some people do such clever things.
Man.
You were just telling me about one you guys just did.
Well, you know, we were joking with Norton because he missed most of the Game 7 of the World Series because he was watching Kinky Boots. We had to give him...
Let's be sure we explain this because the Sunday crowd may have missed this story. Now, Norton says that he's a giant Cubs fan.
He's not a baseball fan. He grew up a couple hours from Chicago. So, fine. So, he bought he bought a hat and all of a sudden he's a Cubs fan.
Rob is I don't know if you can tell, he's very subtle. He's resentful of this photo.
I'm a big Cardinals fan. The Cardinals Cubs are rivals, so anyway, I take offense to it. And so, for Game 7, I fly into New York, and him and Briana just got out of Kinky Boots. And they said, come meet me for a drink.
One of the biggest Game 7s ever.
The Cubs win the World Series. Yeah, you missed all the game.
And by the way, it's not like Norton is Johnny Broadway. He's never been to a Broadway show in his life. He picked this time to skip the most epic, historic Game 7, potentially the win of a lifetime, to go to a show he's never heard of and probably wasn't that interested in. Kinky Boots.
So we had to give him trouble. It's a great setup. So someone today did a photo op where we were all rooting for the Cubs to win while this young lady had this nice pair of boots on and he had to be with her kinky boots.
I mean, that's so clever, that's so quick, that just happened, and somebody thought of that. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you for your question.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Danielle. Might remember me from last question.
You're the last question,
I do.
person.
Okay. My question is a 2-parter. Since I was at con last year, Saturday, NJcon, Rob, how was it filling in Rich's shoes? And Rich, how was it directing Just My Imagination?
How was it hosting the con for you?
Oh, last year in New Jersey. Oh yeah, it was super fun. I mean, look, Rich is such a vital presence to this whole experience. So it was not the same without him here. And you know, I definitely felt like it was an uphill battle. I mean, there are a lot of people. You're like, I guess I got to look at something. All right.
That should be our slogan. Come to Rob and Rich Fridays, because you got to look at something.
No, you guys were great. The audience was great. They really embraced me, and of course, you know, it was an unforgettable weekend. I had a blast. It was great. I got to finish all my sentences. No, it was great. It wound up being super fun.
That must have been weird.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird. I felt really good about myself.
I was going to say, your confidence was...
Yeah. But it was super fun to do. Rich, directing?
Directing the episode was awesome. You know, I wasn't in New Jersey because I was directing Just My Imagination last year. And I just had such a great time. It was such a huge opportunity that I have nothing but thanks to then showrunner Jeremy Carver and obviously godfather of the show, Bob Singer, Phil Segresha, executive producer, those guys for letting me do it, and for Jared and Jensen being so supportive of the process. It was just an amazing experience. I loved that story. I loved the script that it was given, that Jenny Klein wrote, and I thought it was so awesome and fun, and had a lot of heart along with the humor. And it was the first time I've ever directed network television, and it was just, I've never been more nervous, and I had an amazing experience. Truly did. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. So we have a few more.
In it, and what would the name be?
Okay. Chuck has a band, and So, well, we've got, the King of Hell is on drums.
Yeah.
Got Crowley on drums. And then we've got Misha playing the triangle. Castile plays the triangle.
Can I throw in here? Because
Sure.
I think it'd be very appropriate for Sam Winchester his only job is to take a shaker and a drumstick and beat the living shit out of the shaker. Because he's taken it before.
Sam's job is to break the instruments.
Yeah.
So every show ends with him ruining everything.
And I think maybe there's a co-lead singer thing between you and Dean. Dean being a frontman.
Yeah, me and Dean, both lead singers together, and then I like Mark Pellegrino as Lucifer ripping the guitar, just shredding. Yes.
What's the name of the band?
The band is called God, the Holy Rollers is good. God.
I was gonna say Three God Night.
God's gift.
Heaven Sent.
Ooh, Heaven Sent. Yes, that's a winner. We have a winner.
And you can release a line of colognes called Heaven Sent. Yeah. We're already marketing it. You know what? Note to self. Start a band.
Contact God.
When these guys step up on the stage, thank you for your question. When these guys step on the stage, it means that it's time for us to have this panel. It also means it's time for all of us to give a big fat thank you to this band who's been here all weekend long. Mr. Michael Moorhoff, Stephen Norton, and Benny Moran.
And I just want to say thank you for coming to this panel and thank you for all the love and support you've shown us all weekend.
Yes, don't forget. Let's go, boys. This is a little number we like to do to wrap up the weekend.
It's the end of the line as we know it. It's the end of the line as we know it. It's the end of the line as we know it. So go home.
Photos, be your autograph, and then go home.
It's the end of the line as we know it. It's the end of the line as we know it. It's the end of the line as we know it. So go home.
New Jersey, thank you. Thanks so much. It's been awesome. Watch NJcon starting November 15th, and we will see you back here next year. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, since I stuck around, I have photographs and autographs later on, so come see me. I'll see you later.